that froze.
That
Chase
froze.
frozen computers.
Okay, my computer froze. Hello, welcome to
The Men,
Men
Who
Who
Chase
Chase
Geese.
Geese. It just froze. It threw a whole game off.
Yep.
Um,
Ruined.
this week we're doing The Deserter.
Very good episode.
Last week we did, of course, Grievous Intrigue, as
Yep.
you well know. And Grievous Intrigue, of course, is actually part of this.
Kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of. But we decided to split it up.
Yeah.
Because
we didn't split up the other one. That was 4 episodes.
yeah. So there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So The Deserter is one of my favorite episodes of this season. It's one of the better ones, I think, of the series because of one aspect of which it does, which is it really explores heavily the clones themselves and how they think and feel and act and believe.
Absolutely.
And that's really interesting. And so again, that's kind of ways I like these episodes because they do these kind of introspection a lot of these characters. So I kind of enjoyed that. That I enjoy a lot more sometimes than other parts they do. So the basic story is, the premise is that, again, from Grievous Intrigue, that they're tracking him down after he escaped. And, and that's good. And they got Obi-Wan hot in his tail. The one thing you get from that, at least that I got from that, is that you see how they treat each other. That is, the Republic, when they have a troop that's injured, they try to really go all out to save them or fix them or help them. Or at least they try to.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas they treat the droids like garbage.
Yeah, we lost some.
And
we'll make more.
Grievous pushes the droids on, even though they're low on power. And they say, listen, if you just let us sit on the machines, sit on these camel type creatures that we had, and let's recharge for a few hours, we'll be back at full capacity. And he says no, and he just chops one of them down, and he doesn't care, and he's going to push on. So you see again, and that's the first time. It's not the first time you see something like that where they don't really care how they treat them. And again, it's an important distinction simply because it tells you how the two sides see and view their own men.
Yeah. Now,
of course, there are robots, but still at the same time, there's no reason to mistreat them for no reason.
They're both pawns of each other's armies.
Yes.
One is actually getting treated like they're human, and the other one is getting treated like they're just scrap.
Yeah. And what I liked about it, again, here's what I liked about it. So they as you know, they meet the deserter. They meet a man who was a clone,
yep.
and a former soldier, former brother, who has raised his own family, he's married, has made kids, banged some chick, a twee-leg girl,
made babies.
And by the way,
again, this is colors.
Yeah, she had a sweet ass, by the way. Just for a second, you'll see it. But it's nice.
That's why I fell for her.
But they have a debate, about the nature of their existence, about being clones, the codes. It's like, you were built to make for war. So, yeah, but
do the war thing.
But that was a programming. I want to do more than that.
Mm-hmm.
He says, and don't I have the right to choose?
Mm-hmm.
Aren't we basically fighting for the right to choose? And then he asked Rex, who's injured. He's staying at their farmhouse. I know you thought about it. What are you gonna do after the war?
And he's like, I got my family. You've got nothing.
You got, what do you plan to do? It's like what do all these clones plan to do? What is the point? And they come to an understanding that that Rex and his men are trying to save the Republic, and they're trying to save not just a future family that he could have, but any family, anyone's kids, and whereas the other guy is trying to save his family, and you see that when they face off against these droids, and you see how the farmer, the clone super current farmer is willing to fight very hard to save his family. And you see that, and the whole point of it is to show that they are very human and their soul that they have, and the fact that that when they leave, Rex leaves on the terms knowing that, hey, I'm not going to turn you in. You're not a coward. He initially thought he was.
Right.
You're not a coward. You're still a deserter, he says, from the cause, but at the same time, I understand what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, you're doing what we want to do, or maybe some of us do want to do, raise a family and have our own life outside of war, and that we are big, again, that the clones are more than their programming, more than what they're conditioned to be. They are people. They really are. And so it had and it actually made me sad. It really did. As a matter of fact, from an emotional standpoint, up to now, this is probably the most emotional episode I've seen that really got to me because you see how and they part ways and you realize the enormity of the fact that this war is going to drag on and this family's book could be killed and you see that Rex is seeing for the first time another possibility of being, which he had kind of considered in his mind before, but now he sees in full view that, oh my God, this could actually it could be a reality. There could really be a world outside of this war
once it's all over
with people other than my brothers, which he'd never, which he had thought of, but dared never say really in public. Oh, you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I agree 100%. This is one of those episodes where 20 minutes is a great time for philosophical and ideological debate because you have someone who has been raised the exact same way and yet their nurture is split off in such a peak that one person doesn't in fact possibly see that standpoint from the other point. And when they meet and they collide, they talk for a brief amount of time while one is injured. And he's calling him a coward. And he's like the worst person ever. He's like a deserter. The deserter is like as bad as a traitor. And in the previous arcs, you've seen them actually encounter traitors and people to the Republic, and they see them on a level that's almost identical. And deserting is almost as bad as basically turning over to the enemy. So they decide that in his mind that when someone just can't fight anymore, when they physically give up, that they have to continue in a way that isn't violent. And for him, he obviously didn't forget his training because he was able to defend his family and defend Rex, who's injured, and he does just as well. But he's only using that to self-defend. He's not going out there looking for battle anymore. He's home.
He's get to save his family.
Exactly. He's home. That's his homeland. That's what he has become. It's no longer what was the Camino? Camino's where they He's not defending Camino. He's defending his home, and that's become his new Camino. And everyone is just okay with that at the end because they realize without him they would have died from commando droids. Only complaint, how does a blue person make an orange baby? But,
I mean, it doesn't bother me. I thought the conversation they had over dinner and the revelation they both seem to share about each other over time, I thought was extremely good and because of and really telling and informative to the audience about everything. And again, you saw the characters grow. You saw Rex consider and the fact that Rex makes it to Rebels and he takes his chip out, that's all part of this, right? That he's seeing there's a world outside of the world he was taught, which means that world outside means I can take my chip out. See what I'm saying? Like I'm not just this what they tell me, so I can actually evolve and be past what I've been taught. And that's why. So you see,
I think this is one of those pivotal moments where he realizes that he's supposed to take his chip out because he doesn't want to be just a program.
Yeah.
He wants to have that external light.
He wants to have he does. And there you go.
And it worked out for him.
Anyway, so I give it a 5 out of 5. He also gives it a 5 out of 5. I said, from an emotional standpoint, I really thought it was, for me,
phenomenal.
I really was, especially at the end, how the two brothers leave each other. And it was really, really very touching to me. So I thought it was really nice. Anyway, so next week is going to be one of my all-time favorite episodes. It's a stupid episode, but it's actually got very high ranks in a lot of places.
No,
and he hated it, but I loved it, which is Lightsaber Lost. Lightsaber Lost. The reason I like it, I'll get into it next week, but the reason I like it is because you get to see the Republic. Really, the Republic. I'm almost 50. I watched Star Wars with my brother 77 when it came out 3 times. Most of my life, vast majority of my life, which is one of the reasons I really don't like Rebels. The Alliance, the Republic is on the run. They're always they're the rebels, and they are always on the run from the bad guys. And I hate that because it's my whole for years it's all it has been. It sucks. I hate it. After a while, it's like I'm sick of it. That's why I don't like it. That's why I think Rebels doesn't do as well. I don't because I think it's the same story. It's like, oh God, we're on the run again. We're always on the run. We've been running for 30 plus years. Since 1977, we're on the run, and it's just you realize the Republic. If you look at the old previous what they call legends or the canon, but either way, the Republic was around for thousands of years, and I'd love to hear stories about that, and that's why I like this because you see it stories about the Republic, we're a set of the same. I'll answer it next week. But there we go. All right. So we're signing off for now.
You did like this episode.
Bye bye for now.